Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. It is NFL MVP, starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan, who is joining us. He has a GoFundMe going on right now, advancing the lives of the Atlanta black community. It's got $1.2 million right now. That's incredible. Everyone can go online right now, donate to the GoFundMe. Matt Ryan has set it up. It's great. Do it. It's going to go to a great cause. Matt, thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about that. I wanted, though, to start the interview being a gracious host and ask you, do you want to do 28-3 now or later?
Let's just rip the Band-Aid and go, man.
All right, let's do it. All right.
We'll get out to a big start, and then you can come back.
First question, how much did that suck?
I mean, as much as anything can suck, right? Like, that's about as bad as it gets. Still stings a little bit, but hopefully I get back there at some point and can change the narrative.
I remember Ed Werder after the game asked you how crushing was this loss right after the game, and that was maybe the most savage question in the moment. So credit to you for dealing with that in the moment and not like I would have freaked out and grabbed my Xbox controller and thrown it at everyone in the press and been like, I'm out of here. So good job on that.
Yeah, I gave my helmet a pretty good launch when I got into the locker room, saw the kind of speakers and stuff fly out. So I basically did the same thing you would do with the Xbox controller with my helmet.
Now, I heard a nasty rumor that you got a contact high from Chris Long when he hit you in the fourth quarter, and that's what kind of sent you downhill. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, I don't think that's true, but it was that fourth quarter. It was kind of a weird deal, right? Because the end, I mean, we made some great plays to get back into field goal range late in the game. Then we kind of, got bumped back out, but there was no contact high from Chris. I actually just talked to him earlier today. All good. He's still talking shit about that year, and then the following year when he beat us with the Eagles, which both those were tough losses.
Yeah,
right.
that was the 2017 Falcons, who I was saying they hadn't played their best game yet. You guys lost, and I still was like, don't worry, they're going to be in the playoffs next week, and they still haven't played their best game because I was a big believer in that team. Have you had a chance, I assume, to talk to Kyle Shanahan? I know that you guys have publicly, like, there's back and forth, not blame, but Kyle Shanahan gets some of the blame for it. But have you guys buried the hatchet in that respect?
Yeah, we're cool. I mean, we talked a lot about it, the week and a half after that game. And then, obviously I was happy for him with the San Francisco hire and, kept in touch with him. And then obviously reached back out to him after, another tough one for them after the Super Bowl this year. So I've been, I've kept in touch with him, and he's a great coach, man. He's a good dude, really good football coach, and he's going to get one. I hope not during, the rest of my career, but, at some point after that, he's going to get one.
Do you call in to question his judgment knowing that he has Chris Sims' initials tattooed on his calf?
We used to bust his balls all the time about that. Matt Sims, so Chris's brother, Matt, was the third string quarterback with us for, I guess, 2 seasons while Kyle was there. And Matt, he was relentless, man. He would break his balls all the time about that. And it is, he tells a story about why they did it, and it still doesn't make sense. I mean, it was a bad decision.
The Wood, they called themselves the Wood, right? It was like 4 bros at University of Texas. They're like, hey, let's all get each other's names put on our legs.
Yeah, just a bad decision at that time. And you couldn't have thought it was going to play out well.
Right. Speaking of Matt Sims, what is it about the name Matt that makes really good quarterbacks?
Ooh, good question.
Thanks.
I don't know. That's another weird part of that year. So in that quarterback room, our quarterback coach was Matt LaFleur, current head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Our backup quarterback was Matt Schaub, and our third string quarterback was Matt Sims. So all 4 of us in that room at the time were Matt.
Too many
and
Matts.
The running joke was that, if anybody came in and asked for Matt, they knew who we were talking to. It was me. So everybody else just kept their mouth shut and kind of went about their business.
I'd like to talk to Matt Schaub. Have you ever asked Matt Schaub the pick 6 streak that he had going? That's an all-time. I mean, what happened there? Have you ever been like, hey, dude, what was going on that?
Yeah, he doesn't really want to go there when I bring it up. he doesn't really want to go there all that often about it. But I think we're both like top 15 all time of pick sixes thrown. So that's pretty good for one quarterback room.
Yeah. Did he ever suggest, hey, maybe we should work on our tackling?
Never came up. Either of us never really brought it up.
So I actually do have a love-hate relationship with the Falcons because I do think you guys are always ready to peak. And this year you have, I think it's 10 out of 11 starters on offense are first-round picks. I assume you guys have done Zoom calls. You're looking around like, man, we got a lot of talent.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I would like when they said that, I never really thought about it. You never really think about like, oh yeah, all these guys are first round draft picks or whatever. But then I saw that and looking around, you're like, holy shit, we got a lot of guys that were drafted early, a lot of guys that are from other spots that for whatever reason have ended up in our space, which I think I'm always kind of bullish on that. You know, I feel like they were talented guys and, you know, for whatever reason, it didn't work out in the first spot that they ended up. But, you know, now that we've got them, there's talent there and we can develop them. You take a guy like Hayden Hurst for us, you know, I think he ends up in Baltimore where, you know, for no other reason than they just ran the football down people's throat. He didn't really get that many opportunities. And I think, you know, him, a guy that's coming in for us, I think has, you know, every opportunity to take off. I think we'll use him differently than they used him in Baltimore, but we definitely got some talent, and, you know, I'm excited about what we got going this season.
Has that been weird trying to get to know guys that you might not have had a previous relationship with and you're not able to meet face-to-face with them?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, one of the first times I worked out, I was flying out to California to meet up with Hayden, and I had met him a couple of times, like did 2 or 3 workouts, but we got to the airport and he was in this hat and had the mask on. And I was like, not really sure if that's him or if that's actually, I knew we were on the same flight, but he was kind of sitting in the, and I wasn't really positive it was him. So it's just a weird time right now, you know, with all this COVID stuff and having a meeting like this. But, you know, we're trying our best, making sure we're doing the best with what we got.
Do you think you're underrated when it comes to QBs? Because we love as fans and media to do the tier rankings. That's basically our entire offseason is what tier guys in. And it does feel like sometimes you don't get the respect that your numbers have shown throughout your career when we do the tier system. So do you feel that way or do you not even care?
I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. I do understand, like, since I've been in the league, it's a, you know, what have you done in the playoffs? And then when you win a playoff game, all right, what have you done until you win a Super Bowl? And so that's kind of, you know, that's where the status comes from. And, you know, I understand that that's the nature of how people see it right now, but I don't worry about it too much. You know, I feel like I go about my business and, you know, produce week in and week out, year in and year out, and give our team an opportunity to win pretty much every week.
Because I pulled up the stats, and since 2008 when you came in the league, you've only finished outside of QBR, which obviously isn't the end-all be-all, but only once, and that was 11. That's your lowest QBR. You've been 3 a bunch of times, 1, 5, 6, like always up there. And when we break down quarterbacks, it's kind of the usual suspect names and then Matt Ryan. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing that I guess maybe it is just a Super Bowl. Maybe we're that dumb that if you win a Super Bowl, then immediately you are like an incredible player that you get all the credit for these seasons you had in the past.
So I think one of the reasons though is I don't like, one of my quarterback coaches, he was like, good quarterback play is making the boring sexy. Right? It's doing like the little things over and over correct, making the right decisions, putting the ball, where it's supposed to be. And I don't think I do anything kind of like crazy. You know, mm-hmm. I don't run the ball all that well. I don't have the strongest arm. I don't, throw it the hardest, give our teams a chance to win. So that's maybe part of the reason.